Inspired by Charles Hummel, Stephen Covey, and Roger and Rebecca Merrill gave us a wonderful tool to deal with time management issues, and I would love to share a very quick breakdown of the process with you. This simple time grid has proven very useful in my own leadership journey, and I'm sure you will find the same value if you put this matrix into practice as you assist church planters to be warriors on the front lines of battle. Hi, this is Rick Curtis. I'm the West Region Mobilizer for the North American Mission Board. So here we go. If you take important actions and you cross it on a grid with urgent actions, you get 4 quadrants that help us define and improve our use of time. Allow me to quickly break down each of these quadrants with you. Quadrant 1 is where the required action is urgent and the outcomes are important. This is the quadrant of crisis because it is here where immediacy rules the day. In this quadrant, decisions are important and you need to proceed carefully because your time is restricted in the urgent. If ever there was a quadrant where things can go really bad, this is it. And if you find yourself working in this quadrant, you need to do everything you can to find margin in your schedule. If you have a church planter here, chances are he is really making some bad decisions and you need to guide him to this next quadrant. Quadrant 2 is where the required actions are equally important, but the time frame for that action is not urgent. This is called the quadrant of quality because it's within this framework that a catalyst or church planter can truly excel. In this quadrant, those important decisions come with the time required for data gathering, theorizing, testing, and then implementation. This is where the 5-star catalyst is found. It is really difficult to assist church planters with quality decisions if you do not have sufficient time to think strategically through them. In this quadrant, you have the time. Quadrant 3 is where the actions are urgent, but the outcomes are not important to the church plant or the strategy. This is called the quadrant of deception. Why deception? Because it is very easy to fall into the trap of working on urgent things that are not important to the plan. The deception enters in because you or the church planter are busy, and everyone sees you as busy, and you're hardworking. Even you begin to believe that you're doing well because you are so busy. The problem? You're busy doing nothing that matters. Many of our church planters need your help to get out of this quadrant. They are responding to the frivolous needs of their people, but not moving the organization forward. They don't understand why they are not progressing because they are so busy, but in reality, they're being deceived by urgency. Quadrant 4 is where the action is not urgent and the outcomes are not important. This is the quadrant of waste. I like to call it the quadrant of casual waste. Why? Because just like quadrant 3, it is where absolute mayhem begins if you're working in this quadrant. It's casual because it can sneak up on you and it kills a church plant if its people are working here. In 1994, when Covey and the Merrills established these quadrants, they estimated that 2 to 3% of all workers' time was spent in this quadrant. However, with the popularity of social media today, many have speculated that this has increased to as much as 20 or 25% of man hours being spent here. So, how do you get a grip on your time? Let me start with where you need to be. You need to work in quadrant 2, quality. And there are 2 simple ways to get there. First, take the time to review your daily activities. List them all. Determine what is important and what is frivolous. Those frivolous things have you working in either quadrant 3 or 4, and by their elimination, you'll automatically rise towards the quadrant of quality. As a catalyst, you should sit with your church planter and do this exercise. Make the list of all the activities in that planter's week. Systematically address each item asking, did this strategically move the ball forward or not? If not, get someone else to do it or eliminate it entirely. And second, avoid procrastination. If you procrastinate, items in quadrant 2, quality, move towards quadrant 1, crisis, forcing you to work in urgency, which always minimizes strategic thought. Giving yourself sufficient time to make the important decisions will move those decisions back into the quadrant of quality. Remember, the excellence of a catalyst or a church planter is found in problem solving and decision making, neither of which are found in the urgent or the frivolous.